Welcome to Free Beer Friday, powered in part by Classic of Dim.
And here we are. Oh, guys, if you're not here with us tonight, it's already getting a little too much fun.
A little crazy. A little crazy. Welcome to Free Beer Friday.
Hello. As always, your host, Ben Easley from The Bearded Monk. Jen's with me.
Hey.
The Bearded Lady. Yes. Oh, and we've got
beer.
beers coming over.
Beer from magical
yes.
people.
From magical people.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Introduce yourselves. The mics are on. You can start talking to the crowd right now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Say hello.
Hello.
Well, I know their names. Can I introduce?
Do it. Do it.
Oh,
do
yeah,
that
thank
game.
you. Okay, this is an amazing person, Betsy. She is a brewer and my friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I hope. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And this
Can we
is
please be friends?
Hector, another friend.
And where are they from?
Where are you from?
Oh.
So we brew at Union Bear Brewing,
Oh, yes.
and I also
I
moonlight
don't know.
at Manhattan Project.
Wait.
Two
hold on.
really fabulous breweries. Union Bear is my main gig, and Hector is my head brewer. And so we spend all of our waking hours making awesome beer.
All of our waking hours. Isn't that
All
the
day.
truth
All
in the
day.
beer world?
All day, day.
Yeast never quits.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
You have to clean it up. It's a mess.
Yeah, well, brewers make wort, and yeast makes beer, but
Nice.
there is a lot of involvement and a lot of thinking about it and dreaming about it and coming home and building classes about it and educating, me and educating our employees, and it is absolutely all encompassing.
That is awesome. What
And it's
did you
always
bring up here?
delicious.
So the first thing we brought is the cherry quad.
What now?
This is I love Union Beer. This is like a strong beer. How much alcohol content is this?
It's 12%, and this is Hector's brainchild, something that he brought with him, something that he's brewed before and shared it with us. Can you tell us about how you made it?
Yeah, it's actually
So good.
it's actually a beer that I brewed with one of my former breweries in Bro. It was my general manager who I made a beer with all of my employees, and he was like, I want a beer that tastes like a Manhattan. So we made the cherry quad, aged it on rye whiskey barrels, and that was our final product. So
Oh, nice. Oh, this is so
I thought I'd bring it back and
Bring it to Dallas.
Yeah, do it again. Bring it
Yeah.
to Dallas. Exactly.
Is this and you?
right on.
You
So
guys
this is
are,
the non-barrel aged
Okay.
version.
Okay.
We went ahead and sold some of it ahead of time, but we have this sitting in 4 barrels. It's been there almost 2 months.
Yeah, about 2 months.
We tasted it at 1 month, and so we're getting ready to taste it again. And so at 1 month, it was like barrel kissed. There's
like
one
it.
barrel that has just a little bit of, it didn't absolutely seal, which for us means that we get,
wow.
beer candy every once in a while when we check the barrels. And, it's sealed itself up for the most part, but we get just like a little bit of syrupy, like sugar wonderfulness that we get to kind of just get a little bit of taste and aroma off of. But it's almost time to taste it again. And people keep asking, when's it going to be ready? And well, when Hector
Seriously.
says it's ready.
Right? When we say
That's-
it's ready, it's ready.
It's not done at a time. It's done when it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk in the front door of Union Bear, and here's this like glass, much like the situation we're in now, right?
absolutely.
This glass cage of emotion. Do you stand, like, do you do barrel tasting? Do you stand at the window and like look at people while they're eating?
You can't have this.
I mean, they're not really eating in front of
Good.
us. But,
Yeah, it's a little
but,
further back.
but
But you're just
yeah, they're,
eyeing them.
sometimes we
Stare down. We've got
sometimes
beer.
I-
They've got food.
Right. You can be like, you will never have this until like a month from now. But
Until I say you're ready.
When we filled these barrels, we tried to get it all done before open, but it's a process. And so people were starting to come in and, excuse me, because the barrels are right by the door.
Yeah.
And people were coming in and eating as Hector is perched upon the second row of barrels, just perched up there, filling the barrels. And
And
people
just
are coming in ready to
hoping
eat.
nobody knocks you down.
Yeah.
Is that
well,
it?
a lot of times people just put on their blinders. Sometimes they come and they stare and we invite them in. They're always welcome to come and take a brewery tour. We don't schedule our tours. People can just come and walk through any time. But sometimes people are just like, oh, yeah, that's Hector on the barrels again. Go about our business.
it's a beautiful brewery too. It's like you were saying, when you walk in, you see a bunch of grain. And this is to the restaurant. You see a bunch of grain and you see barrels on either side, and then it opens up to the restaurant. But then you see the beautiful, beautiful silver tanks behind the glass. And it's just an amazing entrance to a great brewery/restaurant. I think it's beautiful.
I think it's really cool for people to be able to see this process up close and personal, and to be able to just walk in and check out what it is that we do. Everything is laid out. We're very open about what we brew and how we brew it. And, I used to be a bartender, so being able to interact with people and tour them through and talk to them about our beer is one of the reasons that I love doing.
That's awesome.
What
Just
we do.
don't tap on the glass. It disturbs the brewers. So if you go to Union Bear, do not do that.
You wouldn't
Sound
do that
carries,
to-
It's like a fishbowl.
Do that
It is
to a
like
fish.
fishbowl.
Yeah.
Just don't do that to them.
You want food? You want food now?
We're gonna just put some food.
I mean,
if you're
I will
bringing
come
us
up.
food.
I will come up and
Take the
see
food.
and take the food. I'll come up and check that out and be like,
Feed them. Just don't tap on the
Can we
glass.
here.
please make that a thing now?
There's a
Like,
sign, do
you
not
just
feed the brewers.
Walk up and like, ooh, you got food for me? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Like, the brewers will tell you that they should be fed, but don't feed them.
Well, so what else is going on at the brewery? What else is happening?
We got a new tank. I call it mine. I know it's not mine, but I call it mine. I ask permission first. I
So-
hug it every day.
I've seen the pictures. You're so.
it's
I
a
love
wonderful
It's a
picture.
cute little short stubby 10 barrel, and it stands next to a 10 barrel that is our custom built, the tall skinny, so
Yeah.
that they'll fit in that small space. And so what we put in it for the first time was the Black Rye IPA. It's a style that is difficult to find anymore, but our company, our owners, our operating partner, they love the rye. A lot of us really enjoy rye, and so we've been trying to incorporate rye into some of our beers.
Well, it's a great pairing with food, right?
Absolutely.
Especially heavy wheat, heavy meat flavors. Yeah, so that's perfect, especially in y'all's venue with this wonderful menu of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there today, but it's finished. Yeah. It's delicious. It's
Ooh.
ready. It's going to move over, get carved up, and
No.
it's almost ready to
it's-
serve.
Yeah, it's ready. It's not pouring yet, but it'll once we
It'll be
leave
there.
here. I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow morning.
See, brewers never stop working.
But that's going in the barrels as
Right.
well. So we've
Oh, it
got
is.
another couple of barrels that we're going to put the Black
nice.
Rye IPA
Heck
in.
yeah.
It finished just below 10%.
Dang.
Oh,
I think
gracious.
it's just under 10%.
I wonder what this is going to be after the barrels.
I don't know if it's gonna actually get any more alcohol necessarily.
Yeah.
Just because when I got the barrels, they were dry.
Okay.
And so I had to add water to rehydrate them and make sure that they were gonna seal before.
That makes sense.
Which is also why that one never really. There's like this weird wharf with one of the little
One of the
staves.
staves.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just not.
That's,
But you get little
that's the best
treats.
part,
But
yeah.
you're right. I do
Candies.
get little, and it's funny because like the hostesses will be like, "Gross!" Like
You're like, no,
"You're
this is
eating
actually
and I'll be like,
delicious.
"It's funny." I'll be like, "Betsy, you want to try this?" She's like, "Yeah."
It is really funny when you we were at Denton County. Whenever you drain the water or the beer or anything like that, you just stick your mouth in front of the hose. I've done that so many times. People are like, "Ew," and I'm like, "No, it's delicious."
Don't judge me.
Like, don't judge me. It's so good. But tell us a little bit more about what you've been up to and how you are doing as Betsy Good, the brewer.
Yeah, so, I mean, most of you might not know, but I haven't been brewing professionally that long. Hector came on over the summer and was roped into a job with an assistant brewer who was incredibly green. I homebrewed and I worked in craft breweries for a long time, but not craft breweries, but craft beer bars.
Yeah.
But I had not ever brewed professionally. So working with the equipment and with the intricacies of brewing at this level was not something that I had done before. I had a mentor who went and bought Hop and Sting, Brian. And
Cool guy.
he started
Sweet Brian Burton.
he brought me in, he realized that I had a passion for beer. And so the second time he said to me, "Oh yeah, we'll get you back there sometime." I was like, "What day? What time?"
Yep. Tell me when.
Yeah. And so I was fortunate enough to be in a place where that was encouraged, where I could go in and learn and train.
Right on.
Yeah.
And walk into the role that you were meant for.
Yeah, and I literally applied for a bartending job at Union Bear. That's how I started there, as a bartender / brewery grunt, because I was hopeful that at some point somebody would take me in and teach me a little bit about brewing.
I do want a little caveat. I am very disappointed in Carrie because she got you and I didn't get you at the Bearded Monk because you were awesome. And we talked about that. The day you came in and you were like, hey, I'm working over at Union Bear now. Like, wait, what? I didn't even know you were on the market. You are fantastic.
Yeah.
And now Carrie's on to bigger and better things in the world.
Oh, yeah. We still love her, just, less now.
It was meant to be. She had to make like doorway to making
much
beer.
Bigger leap. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
I'm
still jealous. I can be jealous.
You're allowed to be jealous.
Okay.
It's fine.
I take jobs very seriously. I'm not there just to make money. I found, my work family.
Yeah.
I left a place after 5 years, and I left for good reasons. But when I went to find a new place, I researched a lot, which is fun when you work in the beer industry. Research is great. And I looked into a lot of different places.
Right now, right? Oh,
you have to make sure you believe in the product. Make sure their lines are clean. Make sure that you see the staff is having fun. And I walked into Union Bear, and they were just hustling. They were busy. But still gave great service.
Yeah.
My food was great. The beer was great.
Yeah.
That was back when the Imperial Stout was on.
They first opened. Is that when you went? Is they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
They are able to do so much with food and beer and just pulling it out every single time. I remember trying their like white IPA for the first time. And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Well, and a lot of the food is made with our beer
Yes.
as well. They'll come up when we work early mornings.
what?
We hear them pulling all the beer they need to go in and make the food. And
take it back to the kitchen.
They took the lemon bar out, didn't they?
but I mean, still, don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, the lemon bar was made with IPA, and
Serious
it was
concern.
so. I know, right? Did you see my face? I was like, it's a delicious lemon bar that they used to have, but I'm sure that there's more than enough.
Well, we
fun
have a
things.
new chef in the kitchen. Not that our old chef wasn't creative.
Yeah.
He was incredibly creative as well. But part of the reason that they brought Zach on was because of his creativity, and he is just constantly asking for feedback on recipes and changing either in small ways or in big ways, or doing R&D products. And he includes the beer and knows about the beer. And it's been good. And he comes to me anytime there's a vegetarian product because he knows that I love vegetarian food. So he asks to borrow my palate, which I think is a lot of fun.
Yes, that's really cool. So, speaking of food and beer, I got to try Betsy and Hector's apple pie goza. Well, I know it's not on, and hopefully it'll be here again because it was so good. But tell me a little bit about how you guys made that.
So it's actually Hector's recipe, the Gosa, and it's funny because we just brewed it again.
Oh, please!
We just made a second round of Gosa, so we don't have the apple pie version, but we might.
But this Gosa's rolling back out.
But that's another one that he brought on that it's turned out absolutely fantastic so far, and I was better trained this time, so I got to participate in the process a lot more. Whereas last time it was his, and I kind of got to be there also. And this time I really got to stay with it and monitor it. You have to take a lot of readings, and I mean you can talk about the intricacies of that beer as opposed to other beers.
All right, so it's a kettle souring process, and so we're basically making yogurt. If it were milk.
Interesting, yeah.
Like literally,
really
we're making
like
yogurt
that.
if it was milk. And so the way you make yogurt is you enter bacteria, which is some type of lactobacillus. We used Dulbrecki. Usually I use Plantarum, but Dulbrecki was easy to get.
I love the science words. They're bacteria.
It's the bacteria. The name. It's like the name. The name of the actual bacterial.
Like
This strain
genus
of
and
bacteria.
species.
Right, and the company that I'm buying it from, and so they have some in their vaults, and it takes time because they got to unfreeze it and bring it back to
Send it
life
over.
and then grow it, and if they already have it growing, then it's easier to get. So I just switched it up. But it's a kettle souring process, so you're basically making yogurt, keeping the wort that you created at like between 110 and 115 degrees.
Oh wow.
To promote basically the bacteria. Right, exactly. And I at some point I decided I was gonna just add some carbon dioxide to make sure that it was all an anaerobic environment, and I was surprised to see that the beer actually carbonates a little bit.
Oh wow.
And so it's constantly degassing, so you're kind of guaranteed to not get a pellicle over it. And
Kind of like kombucha. Is it similar or?
Well, yes, but kombucha is a symbiotic culture between the bacteria and the yeast, and so kombucha you get that pellicle, but it's not like mold.
No, it's
in
just
kombucha, it's like leather, where like
that's what you want.
With some sour beers, you'll get this pellicle that is like mold. And it'll give you some off flavors.
Did you keep the culture
to
continue to make?
I actually did steal a little bit before just to make some sour beer.
That's good. No, I know that like a few breweries.
Sours are my favorite.
Yeah,
I know some breweries won't. I met the head brewer of Blue Owl, Micah, and she says that they do not actually. They repitch every time. They use a fresh one.
Well, no, is there a worry with having an off flavor? If you let it grow too long, if you reuse that, will it start introducing an off flavor early?
From my understanding, the reason that she doesn't reuse it was based on the acidity, not necessarily to prevent off flavors, but because it just might not be healthy, because the more you grow it, the more acidic it becomes, and you really need to start at a higher pH and lower it slowly, or at least that's how we did it.
That's so interesting.
So kettle souring is the cheating quick way of doing,
and then there's fooder,
of doing
right?
something, and then so like a fooder, right, or like a traditional Belgian lambic style where you just
let it air.
Yeah, exactly.
Open the windows
right?
and
so those styles.
Y'all have doors.
Months.
You could do this. You want to say goodbye to everything else you brew in that brew
as
house?
long as you guys want a sour West Coast and a sour blonde and a sour amber. Yeah, no problem. We
a little bit of 35 or a little bit of toll road in there. It'd be great.
Oh yeah, that's the best. Actually, I got to see Jester King's Cool Ship when I was at the Pink Boot Society conference in Austin.
Don't you want to go swimming in that? Or am I the only one?
No, that's weird.
What?
It's like a kiddie pool. You have to sanitize yourself first.
Yeah, just spray yourself with sanitizer. But they
don't want your bacteria. They want like the air.
I've got good bacteria.
Into the cool ship and they just open the windows. It's on the top floor with all the barrels, and that was just fascinating. So this was my first trip into sour beers, was doing the kettle sour.
Really? That's really
getting to stay with it. And I just kept inviting people in and come see what we're doing. Come taste it every couple of hours like I am, because that's the most fascinating part, because we're taking pH readings and
watching this thing evolve.
Yeah, watching and tasting too. Like, oh, it's just the slightest bit tart now. Oh, it's a little more tart. And then
you're like, yay!
Okay, it's ready.
My baby.
Yeah.
It's like it's a progression of a baby. It's a pea now. It's a grapefruit.
Yeah.
It's even more tart. I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Tart?
You're talking about like the belly growing. Okay, for a second I was like, what?
I went through
are you
this whole
talking about?
process. Like, how big is the baby now? How
eggplant,
tart
like-
is the baby if it's a beer?
No, don't.
No?
Don't taste the baby. You're not supposed to do that.
just like a little, kiss, right?
Kisses are okay, I think.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
That's where you draw the line.
Right.
Yeah,
So what? You told me a little bit about the apple pie when you put it in there, but I remember you telling me a little bit about the Granny Smith, and it paired, right? Mm-hmm. It paired perfectly with the Goza, which I didn't think. I'm trying to explain. I know I'm going back on this beer because it's so good, but I didn't expect like what? I know you didn't have it.
I missed out on all of this.
We'll just have to make it again.
One keg.
There
we
you
made
go.
one keg of
One
the
keg,
apple
and I
pie
got
Goza.
it. But it was
The Granny
perfect.
Smith apples
They
being one of the
paired.
most acidic apples, it paired perfectly well with the tartness.
I didn't think it would either.
Y'all added the Granny Smith apples to
secondary fermentation.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So that's the nice thing
Keep me
about
going.
like brewing on bigger batches is that, especially at a big, I came from Santa Fe Brewing Company, and so there I would basically just steal 5-gallon batches of beer after brewing it, because I didn't want to homebrew on the weekends on my day off after brewing all week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So while I was working, I would just like grab some apricots from my tree and throw it into a Pilsner, and steal 5 gallons of Pilsner, do a secondary fermentation in the 5-gallon, and so I basically did that with the Goza, and we had a kimchi version.
That was insane, dude.
That was the first beer I made, was this Goza.
That was
when I
wild.
first got hired there. So I made an
Wait,
Imperial
at Union Bear
Yeah.
or at Santa Fe?
at Union Bear.
At Union Bear.
It was
Gotcha.
the first it was the first beer that was my recipe. And so I made a kimchi gyoza, I made a mango chili, I made a cucumber chili, I made a ginger pineapple, and then Betsy suggested doing the apple pie, and that was my favorite out of all of them.
I got the idea.
I really like the kimchi, but that's an acquired taste.
That kimchi was a wild
A
beer.
special thing.
Oh yeah,
That
for
was
sure. Special.
An insane wild
It was
beer.
accurate. The
Yeah.
kimchi was
Tastes like
well
kimchi.
done.
Dead on.
It was balanced. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. I just
You
couldn't.
gotta like kimchi.
It was, and I will praise it, but also I will not drink it. I can't. Sorry.
I imagine, like, I'm not a big vegetable eater myself, but kimchi with a really good salty meat or a really good sushi.
Or a
it's
gyoza,
amazing.
apparently.
Right?
Yeah. But the idea of you guys are in a food environment as well, so your beer's pairing with meals that folks might be getting. I could totally see that working with some of the stuff I saw on that menu.
I think had it not been the first beer I made, the chefs maybe would have been able to incorporate into the meal.
You're like,
plan a
"Here's
little
kimchi
bit."
beer.
Yeah, because I made a lot of kimchi.
Yeah.
It's like
Man, do some seared ahi tuna with a kimchi beer.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
like I made all that kimchi with my friend Kelly helped me out, and we made all that kimchi there.
Yeah.
It's like.
And
The
like making beer.
managers kept saying, "When is the kimchi smell gonna go away?" And I'm like, 2 weeks after the kimchi's gone.
Right?
Like,
Yeah. Oh, Kelly
always
came
in here.
prepared too. What was that? What was that wand thing
Yeah,
that
she
she
had a
smashed
cute
it down? She
little-
was ready.
She had this little kimchi wand to make sure it's a wooden like paddle type thing,
pack
but
it
it's
into the
to pack. Yeah, exactly, to pack it down.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does not
She came
mess around.
prepared. Yeah, she
nice.
Nice.
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
What are we gonna drink? Are we gonna drink another one? Or are we gonna go?
You ready for it?
Oh, well, now I've got another fresh.
Sorry, that was a 12% beer. It was so
Betsy,
much.
drink it with me. Come on. Let's do this. Burp.
Well, she's gonna teach a class, by the way. So.
Oh, hey, you got to be
It's gonna be
ready.
a fun
be okay.
class.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, the class.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we should say something
We
about
should
that.
probably say
yeah.
something.
Okay, so tonight, Betsy is teaching a Stouts and Porter class back at the Bearded Monk ahead of Stout and Shout tomorrow. So if you want to come try 4 Stouts and Porters with Betsy, get a whole load of swag, drink some beer, learn life lessons on dark beers. Yeah, that's happening tonight. Well, although if you're watching this, you might be missing out, but you can at least come hang with
But
Betsy.
you can meet her.
How about that? Yeah.
Because she's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not terrible.
Yeah. She bites. She bites, though, so just
Yeah.
watch out.
Don't
That's
get
true.
too
I
Like,
still
don't
have
put
it.
yeah.
That is true.
I love teaching classes. One of the things that Hector noted and that I had noticed when he first came to Union Bear was that we had this great training program for our brand new employees. We walk them through the brewery, we show them what the equipment is and tell them what it does, but some of them have some experience and some of them are, deers in headlights and
They're learning all about this fermented drink.
yeah,
Right.
and then, because we're so new, we hadn't yet really developed that second level of learning, that continuation of the education in beer. And so, of course, we talked to them about the beers that we make as they come out, but we didn't have a program for them to come through and learn more about the beers. And so that was one of our major goals from the beginning, was to create an educational program that
Right
taught
on.
them about beers. So all of our employees are Cicerone certified beer servers. They're required to get the certification within their first few months of working.
At least, like, level 1.
Yeah, so you don't call yourself a Cicerone at level 1, but you have to be fairly well educated
Yeah.
on beer styles and a number of other things in order to pass that test. It's like 60 questions in 30 minutes, and there's no cheating. You have to be
Yeah.
ready. And,
Just have to know it.
Yes, and so we wanted to help get them ready for that, and then anybody that wanted to work on their level 2 Cicerone, we wanted to help them get ready for that, and then just for education and for funsies and to make them better bartenders and servers, we wanted to make sure that they had a program that they could go through and learn about these beer styles. So we've been working on breaking them up into different classes, and we started with Belgians because we are making the quad, which I haven't finished yet. I'm working on it.
Nice.
And
It's
then
okay.
Heavy beer.
I did a class on India Pale Ales, and of course you've got to go through the history of how they came about and how they've evolved into the blueberry milkshake milkshake IPAs of today, and it was quite.
Like Blueberry Fortune. I was talking about this earlier today. Yes.
I was
Okay.
too, actually.
Yay!
Delicious beer, and I actually brought it to my class.
Yeah.
I brought it and gave them a taster of that to show them, how it's evolved and how IPA really just means it contains a lot of hops. But that class was very long. It was too long. That was my first class that I built on my own, and I learned to group them better. So we recently did a brown ales and porters, and then stopped. And then I got a lot of really good feedback about, is this an appropriate amount, or did you want to learn more, or was it too much? Did you get glassy-eyed on me? And they said, no, that one was perfect. So
Right on.
I learned to kind of scale it back a little bit because I get a little excited sometimes.
Yeah, you love beer. It's a passion. Are you kind of heading this
This is
right
one of my
now?
problems.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
totally on board. Yeah, like you get excited about beer.
You're
You
like, I
want
wanna
to talk about it
Let's
nonstop.
just talk about beer all the
Well,
time.
I got so excited that when I went to build the third class, I was almost finished building it before I was like, oh, dude, should I have let you do more of that? I just got excited and I just ran with it. And he was like, well, you did it. So
So it's
teach
both
it
of
now.
y'all.
Can I,
So it's both of
can
y'all
I help in
teaching.
any way? Yeah. So he's let me build the last couple of classes, but
That's
of course,
awesome.
I'll go and make sure that I've got the history correct, that it's, appropriate in length, that things are in the proper order. So, I'm allowed to head the program, but with a certain amount of mentorship and guidance, to make sure that it's appropriate. And, he's a wealth of knowledge, and we both have a lot of books and experience, but obviously I haven't been doing this for 10 years just yet. So,
Dude, I can see like you're just in the future of Betsy's life being like a teacher of beer, which is amazing. Like you've like grown to have a
there.
passion. You're doing it tonight. I mean,
Nice.
that's
It's
so
already there.
cool. Yeah.
no, I love it. If you would have asked elementary school Betsy what she wanted to do when she grew up, I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I did.
Well,
And then I realized that I prefer to teach adults.
And you
teach
found the
beer.
class subject
And I
that
have
you're
found it.
excited about.
Yes, I've gotten to coach adults in gymnastics, and I've gotten to teach adults as a TA in chemistry, writing supplemental instructional programs, and that's kind of what I'm pulling from when I do this here. I want them to be excited and interested. And these classes are all voluntary for the Union Bear employees. And so the people that show up, they want to be there. They want to learn. They're excited when they get new
Like,
information.
Miss Betsy.
Yeah, right? I don't have to discipline anybody or wipe anybody's
Right.
behind. It's my favorite.
You're very engaging.
Yeah.
So you keep it entertaining. From just talking to you, everything we've talked about, it's not a droll conversation, which, not to discount any of my teachers back in the day, but you go to class and you're like, oh,
like,
why do I have to be here?
The Snoop.
But it's fun to hear what Bessie has to say about
it
this
is.
stuff.
Well, I've had a lot of teachers that just read off of the PowerPoint. And, especially when you're paying for the classes, that can be really
And
frustrating.
I feel like the teacher felt like that too.
Right.
They were like,
said,
why do I have to
I don't want to be here for
Right.
you
So they
either.
create that energy, and it just bounces back at
Back
them.
and forth.
I practiced
on.
the class with my
Right on.
11-year-old son, and he said, I learned something really important. You shouldn't put all of the words that you say on the slide. He said, I've heard my teachers say not to do that, but he said, you just put the main points and then you talk, and it's better that way. He said, I should learn to do that too.
Nice.
Yeah, so it
He's
was a good
giving you some
teaching moment for
feedback.
him.
I like
he
that.
does. He gives me feedback. He
He's
asks
the
good
cutest
questions. He's very engaging. He gets to smell my beers.
I was about to say, when he takes a sip, he's like,
Yeah.
Tastes great.
Mommy, you didn't mention the hop character in
Zaka.
this.
It's gone bad. It's gone bad.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a super taster when he grows up because he's
Nice.
already smelling. He smelled pelletized hops and said, Mom, that smells like the beers that you love, because he knows I love IPAs, and he recognized that scent, and he
Nice.
smells a stout, and I smell a little bit of coffee. I think I can smell some
Ooh.
chocolate. Yeah.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Like
him
a
before?
champion. No.
He's like
Have
got
we
this
ever
beautiful
met?
blonde
We've never
hair.
met
Oh my
before.
gosh.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
Baby
He looks
dates.
like a little skater boy.
True.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
What are we drinking right
my
now,
favorite.
by the way? What did you pour us?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the West Coast IPA.
It is, yes.
Right there.
It's right. You hit it. Like the head of the
packed
nail.
with CTZ, Cascade Centennial,
Some more Cascade.
some more
Centennial.
Cascade, some more Centennial,
A CTZ, like,
and then Simcoe, Mosaic, and Centennial.
and more Centennial.
Golly.
It is really, really
I
good.
love
You hit it.
Centennial. It's such a great hop.
Well, I mean, it's a good tasting hop. Like, did you spill it?
No.
Oh, okay.
You keep talking.
It's
Oh,
his
I'm
heart.
sorry.
It's his heart. It was
That-
the heart.
Your
Okay.
heart was so.
I was
it was so,
pointing to my heart, and then you talked, so I pulled out my lapel.
Oh, okay.
no,
Your heart
I-
skipped a beat for the beer.
I
You're
did.
like, oh,
It totally
so good.
did. So for me, a lot of the real aggressive hops, especially on the bittering side, they become too much for me. But something like Simcoe, a little bit, Lemon Drop, Mosaic, Cascade, some kind. But Mosaic really brings out this nice malty character almost to
Yeah.
me. And
I agree.
that's one of the winning points for this.
And I do enjoy really aggressive or offensive beers, but this one is a little better balanced, you know.
Yeah.
And actually, it sounds corny, but it's one of my favorite West Coast style IPAs that I've ever had. I really enjoy it, especially this version. Being a small, non-automated brewery, sometimes they'll come out a little bit different each time. You know?
Why? Wait,
It is
why
really
is that?
tasty.
What?
Well, very
the
slight
automation makes it-
temperature variations.
They have to make it
can make a
themselves.
difference. If we boil a few minutes longer, it makes a difference. If we
I can't cuss on here.
if we dry hop at 3.5 days instead of 4 days, it can make a difference. And then actually, there were a couple of differences that I noticed when I first started brewing. There was a West Coast, the first one that I helped make. We use about half a bag of C60, which will give it a little bit of that like nice caramel color.
Wait, what is C60?
And it's a type of malt, the level
Okay.
of roasting in it. And so, you know, we didn't weigh it. We dumped it, and we dumped in like maybe an extra 5 pounds. And so like, oh, well, it's just a little bit maltier than the last one.
No
It's
big
going to
deal.
be fine. And then the very next one, I was still brand new. That was right after Hector came on. So I brought him the malt, and he was milling in, putting it in to be milled, to be crushed. And I accidentally brought him an extra bag.
Surprise.
And so he comes to me and says, "Hey, we've changed the recipe." Uh-oh. On purpose? I said, no. You brought me a bag of this, and I didn't catch it, so we changed the recipe. So it
Dang.
became a double IPA
Okay.
because it was a little bit stronger, and I was so scared. Am I fired now? I said, no, we're just going to hop it a little bit more heavily, and it's going to be absolutely fine. So it turned out a little stronger. We hopped it a little more aggressively, and it was our double IPA. And I don't know that I admitted publicly that was an accident before. But
Well,
it was
no.
a happy
Okay.
accident.
you heard
and
it
it
here
was,
first.
It was
So-
delicious. It was so
That's-
good.
I've
Right on.
noticed that most
That-
beers are accidents.
It happens.
And you love the taste of all of those beers too, and then like those happy accidents are the things that you're like, oh wow, we're known for this. Like,
So, well, let's do that again.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
you're like, how do we do that again?
Becomes
we just
a
made a
standard.
mistake. Like, how do we?
Let's
actually
go,
heard a
let's
story-
Look at the cheat.
There was a story about Jester King and their spontaneously fermented beer. Somebody accidentally pitched some yeast into
The
some of it,
spawn?
and it was no
Dang.
longer a spawn, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
And so they kept doing it, and it wasn't
just
exactly
keep
the
going.
same the following year, but it was absolutely wonderful. And you know, happy accidents happen sometimes.
People line out of like the door for releases at Jester King at 11 o'clock in the morning, or you get there at like 4 or 5 in the morning, but you're there.
and then you wait until 1.
Yeah, and then you get the beer. So I mean, it's an amazing that their accident was fantastic. So
yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
But are we gonna go?
And then we
Learn-
get excited about this beer.
I'm excited about this beer. I want to learn some things about some things, some beers.
Some beers.
Yeah.
I
Some
believe
stouts,
it's pronounced
some drinking.
burrs.
It's burrs.
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 We're in
We are in
Texas.
Texas, after
Burrs.
all.
Let's learn some.
Yeah.
Learn about some burrs.
We're
By
gonna-
the
We're
way,
gonna
By
do
the
some burr
wash.
learning.
They're by the wash.
by the wash. By the way, Betsy, your voice would be perfect for ASMR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is like
Wait, what?
right. Okay, Jake
what
said
is
the
this?
same
So
thing.
can you
Okay.
tell me more? I've heard about this a little bit, but can you tell me more about
so
that?
like your voice is so calming, unlike mine. ASMR is this is an interesting thing to bring up on Free Beer Friday, but it's fascinating. So ASMR is sounds that you can catch on a microphone that like, you know how it makes your like hair stand up on the
Okay.
back of your neck? Like this. But people that are talking like you're like, hi, I'm Betsy, and this is my ASMR channel.
Oh my gosh, you sound like me. That was good.
And this is what I was thinking is like I had this idea a long time ago like terrible ASMR. At like breweries, like
that's why this
crashing
sounds familiar.
cans and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Like the
if
worst
you ever wanted
noises.
to lead a channel, you would be perfect.
Oh, thank you.
And like, yeah, literally, it's like, do you care if I crush this? Like that. Like someone out there really likes that sound.
That was a satisfying sound. I want to hear that again.
Oh, okay. Well, Betsy,
ASMR king?
can you tell me what this is?
So I'm going to talk about the crushing of this cup while she crushes the cup, and that's the weirdest thing I've done today. I feel weird. Dirty.
Well,
No, I can't drink anymore.
Oh, you can share with me. It's okay. So the funny thing is like the ASMR actually, I just learned this. It's like it's calming to some people, but they almost say it's erotic.
Erotically calming.
Yeah. Well, no, there's like a thing that is splitting. They're splitting it up. So these people that are actually like getting calmed by these sounds, like listen to it during the day to calm themselves down on anxiety and all that kind of stuff. But other people are saying that they're pushing the envelope too much and they shouldn't be doing it, and like they're trying to take it off YouTube and different things. So it's a really weird and crazy situation and topic.
It's like
a
somebody
funky-
holds their breath, and all somebody's trying to hold it a little bit longer.
Right.
And then somebody's holding it longer,
See,
and next thing you
this
know, you're
makes-
passing out.
Right.
This makes me think of like, can we just at this point like put in who's the guy that played the dude?
Oh my God, his voice.
His sleep CD. Is this? Are we talking
What's
about
his
the
name?
same?
Yes, you made me listen to it. What's his name?
Oh, Jeff Bridges.
Thank you.
Poor Jeff Bridges. I'm sorry that I didn't.
But
think
we
of your
love
name
him,
before him.
and
Yeah, but yeah,
he
can we
has a
just
sleep
put
CD.
some? Can we cut in the Jeff Bridges sleep album right now? It's so calm.
It is. It's like, hey, today we're going to talk about sleeping.
Yeah, he starts. Okay,
So
yeah.
weird. He
Anyway,
starts humming. It's
if
really funny.
if it's not in this episode, go
Right.
listen to it right now. Yes,
They're gonna pass
this is
out.
simple. Go to sleep before the end of this episode.
Yes. But
Okay, that's kind of fun because I like this.
Your
Your voice is so soothing. nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yours is not, Ben.
Oh, darn it! I tried. I tried.
It's the polarity, though, right? It's
Yeah.
the polarity. It's like,
You tried so hard, too.
I think your voice
even-
is soothing.
Mine? No.
I
Her
was
voice
just
is
gonna let that
energizing.
settle.
Yeah.
You should
I heard-
lead a jazzercise class.
I should.
I was about to say.
I would
her voice,
exercise
her voice
so
makes
hard.
me want to run.
Pedal
Yeah.
a little bit harder.
Right.
Let's do this,
Exactly.
guys. Come on.
Right? Let's do it. We're going to go run back to the Bearded Monk and drink a bunch of beer.
Oh yes, yeah, we can totally.
I
do
will be
this.
talking about it because if Betsy talks about it, we will probably just be too chill. Thank you so much for coming on, Betsy. I appreciate it. And I'm
This
so
was so much fun, guys.
looking forward
so much
to
fun.
everything that you guys are coming up with at Union Bear, and of course you and your career and furthering in brewing, because you're amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to teach the class, and they get some beers and some swag, and Union Bear and Manhattan Project and Hop and Sting were nice enough to give me some swag to put in the bags.
You went and
Yeah,
got
you know?
all of these donations
yeah.
for tonight's class.
I've got a lot of supportive friends in the industry. That's one of
Right
the
on.
most wonderful things
They
about
some
being
cool cats.
here. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got some cool stuff.
Nice. Okay, so do some more drinking.
Yeah, let's do
Is
some
that
more
the plan?
drinking.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
Let's do this. All right. Wave goodbye. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of
Free Beer Friday.
That's it. Yes. Bye, guys. We'll see you later.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.